Hello everyone, welcome back to Fireside Chat. This is Meka, your hostess. Now, Fireside Chat is an initiative of CCI, Congolese Community in Ireland, where we have meaningful conversations that we look to inspire each individual through conversations of resilience, entrepreneurship, and self-discovery. Now, our guest today is an entrepreneur, and she will talk. Now, I've just given it away. It's a she. She'll give us more information on her journey in becoming an entrepreneur. And without any further ado, hi, Alida.
Hi, Gibbons.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited for the conversation we're going to have.
I'm happy to be here. Me too.
Yeah. And I hope I covered everything. So tell me all about Alida. Who are you? Present yourself.
Do I have enough time? No, I'm joking. So my name is Alida Campoto. Firstly, I'm a mother of two. I have two beautiful kids, a boy and a girl.
Nice.
And I'm married. Professionally, I'm a HR. So I kind of built a career in human resources. And I'm a business entrepreneur, I would say. So yeah, in short,
you wear many hats.
Yeah, I do.
Like many these days. So how's that treating you?
You know what? It's challenging. I wouldn't sit here and say it's easy. It's a lot challenging, especially with balancing work and entrepreneurship, which a lot of people are doing right now, and on top of it, running a household. So it's challenging, but it's worth it, especially if you have a passion for the business that you do, or if in the work that you do, it's worth it.
Yeah, and that's why, like, even you being here now, and the kids are waiting for you. So thank you so much for making time, and thank you, kids, for letting me out for this interview. So, in the world of Alida, take us through a day in your life. What's a typical day? Let's start there.
Okay, so currently I'm on maternity leave. So I had my little girl Amelia Rose in April. So my day is very busy.
April is my
really?
favorite month, my birthday month. Okay,
great. Twins.
She's my twin.
Yeah, so she was born on April 14th. So she just turned.
Stop. Me too.
Really?
She is really my twin.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get so excited about this. Every time I find someone who's born on the same day, I'm just so excited.
Yeah, no. She was born on April 14th, so she currently just turned 6 months. So I am lucky enough that I'm still on maternity leave up until next year. So a day in my life would be kind of waking up, getting my son ready for crash, because he's only 2.5, and then dropping him to crash, coming back home. He's gone from 9 to 3. So because she's still quite young, I do have like time to myself at home. So then I kind of I have business meetings with Meka Cosmetics. I have built a team. So usually I try to do as much while he's away, kind of look at, inventory, if there's anything we can do, obviously in the process of launching. So there's a lot of, background stuff that we have to do right now. And then that's when he's back home at 3, then, mommy kicks in, no business at all. My business stops there, and I kind of get ready for my husband because he works in the office. So I'll get the dinner ready, be, the stay-at-home mom for Bay, get the kids all done. And then around 7, my kids are so good that they sleep by 8 o'clock.
Wow.
So by 8 o'clock, they're all in bed. And then that's when I kind of spend a bit of time with my husband, but mostly my evenings are from 10 o'clock talking to my suppliers, everybody, because most of my suppliers, with the time difference, it's morning from 11 o'clock there, where they are, and then it's night here. So that would kind of be a day in my life right now.
Wow, that is so busy.
Yeah.
So when did you decide you wanted to be the great entrepreneur?
I always had a passion for business. Just a little bit of a background. Me and my sister, actually, we've always. So I grew up in Cork City. So in 2018, we opened a hair salon in Cork City, up in Barrack Street. So we had we had hair. There was a barber. There was a makeup artist, a nail tech. It was a big thing. But at the time, we were both kind of very young, and also we were doing it for passion of business that we had, but we were both going to college as well. So it was
the place you literally went out and rented a spot and said, "Hey, we're doing this
gonna
as
do
college
this."
students."
Yeah, we did.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we had people working for us. Like we had a hairstylist. There was a girl that was doing nails and eyebrows. So at the same time we were in college. But I think after that it became a little bit tricky because we both wanted to pursue our kind of careers. So we had to close down the business. So when we wanted to pursue careers, I always had it at the back of my mind that, I really enjoyed having my own business. I enjoyed the financial freedom it gave me, as well as, just knowing that there is something I can call my own, so just having a brand for myself. And I always had the back of my mind that I wanted to leave my kids a legacy. This was before I even became a mom, so I always wanted, I used to see business owners out there and I'm like, I want to be like that one day. So obviously when I had my son, COVID came and all that, I was just doing research like behind and seeing what do I want to do that will, make a mark, in the world. So then I was like, you know what, cosmetics, I had to put my think up and I was like, yes, cosmetics. And if you ask why cosmetics, because I know a lot of women will have these issues, right? It's very hard to find a brand that caters to everybody. Do you know what I mean? Because even being dark skinned, even being black, I would say there is so many shades of black. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like something that will suit me will not suit someone else, especially when it comes to eyeshadow and it's different pigmented. I remember being young and going to your big brands, and then I always say the gray eyeshadow, when you put it on, it just never, it was as if it doesn't, like, it's as if it just disappeared on you.
Yeah,
so I
really trying to do like a smoky eye.
Literally, you're like, this isn't for me, So I really wanted something that not only caters to my own people, but caters to everybody. Everybody can take it and they'll be like, oh, this works for me, and there's something very pigmented. I think that's where I think there's a phrase that says, when there's a lack of something, it makes you more passionate about finding a solution for it.
Yeah.
So, and also something affordable and something that we can say, okay, you know what, I'm happy to buy from this person because it's my own, So it's like supporting your own people. So that's kind of where my passion for makeup started. And then I'm also like, I studied business in college as well. Yeah. So I have the kind of resources in business. I'm a HR. I know, the background of certain things. Basically.
That's a big, what can I say, timeline, really. Like, it's just going to very fast. But you said that you did research because you wanted to become like an entrepreneur or a business owner. Did you not see that you already had that experience while you had the salon with your sister?
No, definitely not, because I think when we went into the salon, we were very young. There were certain things that we could have done better. Even there was certain experience that I had, but there was definitely more experience that I had to learn. Yourself being young, sometimes you might do something and you're like, oh, I'm just doing it because I want to. But I think with my age now, I had to really, really deep into certain things, like exactly. So with the cosmetics, in Ireland, before you open anything, you have to be business registered. You have to have your VAT. You have to have your tax. You have to have your EORI number before you can even think of selling in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So that's where the lot of research I had to do. Also, I found it easy to go and ask for help. Like I have an accountant right now, and I also have a lawyer. So certain things that I know that I can do myself, like to get VAT registered, you can do it yourself, but it's actually easier to do it through a lawyer. So that's kind of the different research I had to do, and also like how to go about my suppliers, getting the right suppliers, getting supplies. Like when it comes to cosmetics, it's so broad that a lot of people don't know. There is certain regulations in Ireland that you can't, like, that don't allow you to sell. Do you know what I mean? So for example, if you're getting a supplier from China. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to go to China and do a private label and come and sell in Ireland. That's just not going to happen because the government is going to track down on that. You need to have, so your supplier needs to have like a EU rep in Ireland, which means that your product needs to be tested on every skin tone. Your product needs to have certain, like meet certain regulation standards before you can even think of selling in this country.
Really learn every day. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow, there's lots of like
exactly.
steps that you have to
100%.
go through.
I think that's what makes us very different because we're not just, you know, oh, I just wanted to open a business, I went and open it. You know, like all our products, you know, they're vegan friendly, they're cruelty friendly. All our products, you know, they are like they're legally allowed to sell in the EU market. You know, so I think that's kind of you wouldn't know it until you know you've done the research on you know different ways to sell in Ireland.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you said that you did put on your thinking cap and said cosmetics, but was that it? Was it that's it? You never deter from it. Why go with cosmetics and not the hair that you started with your sister? Like it could have been hair products, right?
I know it could have been hair products, but I think I just have I just loved personally. I just love cosmetics. I love even with I think with hair, yes, we can go for like different hair products, but I think with cosmetic, it's so broad, the variety of products that I can sell. Do you understand? And I love the fact that you know every season, for example, like Valentine's, I can bring out, you know, a Valentine collection. Spring, I can bring out a spring collection, and I can play around with different like packaging. You know, summer, I can do a summer collection. You know, even working with like different campaigns. Like so we're working on a summer campaign. We're already thinking of it right now. You know, thinking that we're going to do it outdoors. It's going to be this way. It's going to be that way. And then autumn, you know, it's not just going to be the same thing every single time. I think. And also like autumn, we do like an autumn collection. Winter, you have like your Christmas collection. You know, I think I just love the idea of that. And then having like different, like I said, different packaging, you know, like for Valentine, you have your red, you know, for spring, you will have like your yellow, your orange, you know, summer, you will have like your bright colors. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of where I loved having fun with that side of the business. So I think that's why I said I'll stick to cosmetics because you can do so much with it, you know.
And is it just you and your husband, you and you know, who's involved in this whole thing? Are you just doing this on your own?
I am. So my husband is big help because he first and foremost, you know, he was my main investor. You know, starting a business, you need to have an investor unless you're going to tap into your own savings. You know, so but at the moment it's just me. I do have a team, however, where I have a social media manager. Like I mentioned, I have an accountant that will do my tax returns at the end of each year. So we also have like a what do you call it? Campaign? No, not campaign. Like we're ready to launch right now. So she does our
campaign
event.
manager?
Yeah, campaign manager, our event manager. So she would look after all the events because we're planning to do different events, like different, like we have a launch night. We're also going to have like a Christmas party. We're also planning to have like a summer, you know, launch, whatever. So I don't just do everything myself. I couldn't,
Yeah, that's
you know.
great.
And the girl, like I have a social media manager where she's mainly like focused on content, creating content, putting content out there, finding content, contacting different content creators for us, and you know, brand ambassadors. So that can take a long time. So I just couldn't do everything myself. Not with 2 kids.
No, yeah.
Definitely not.
But what you've done already, like the whole steps and everything, and doing that while I think you said you did it while you were, you know, your son just came out and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna start a business.
Yeah.
You know, that's already a lot.
Yeah.
Because you already have a lot to deal with at home, being a mom, being a wife. So now that you decided to just focus on cosmetics, like, do you forget about all the rest? Do you feel like owning that salon, that relationship with your sister in the business aspect of it, and with the nail person and the barber, do you think that knowledge you've gained knowledge there to bring within this business? Do you think-
Definitely, I think the main, like one of the main knowledge I gained, it's interpersonal skills, and even relationship with people, like the way I would speak to my sister is the same way I would speak to, the barber is the same way I would speak to anyone else. So I think even managing people, I definitely learned that I can say I've managed, people physically, that because right now all my team is virtual, so I can manage, things virtually, definitely. But I did think of going into the hair business before, but it's just, once again, I think when it comes to business, people have to understand that there is a lot of stuff that goes on background. Like there is so much, so sometimes it's only like I don't like taking on more than I can chew. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I just don't want to, have a breakdown someday, or just be like, oh no, this is enough and I want to give up. But maybe in the future.
Yeah. And so then with the skills that you learned from college, then like doing HR business, and now you're in HR, do you feel like that knowledge now you don't need to outsource that you deal with that side?
I deal with everything myself. Even with I'll tell you, with my everyone that I hire in my team, I do the contract myself. First of all, I do the job spec myself, because in
So
work.
what's the lawyer doing? Huh? What is he doing?
Chilling. So I know, to be honest, my lawyer, I call him for like business advice most of the times. Like, let's say if I get a letter from the revenue, I'd be like, can you please explain to me what is this? Because revenue, they'll track you down. So with what I learned from college, I think firstly, I like when it comes to the job spec, especially with work, I would create the job spec myself. I would do the interviews myself, like the hiring process. I would do that all myself. Even down to contracts, I would do the contract myself, and payroll, I would do the payroll myself. So, I mean, I can do it. It's what I do for a living with my HR job. And also, 4 years in college, I learned a lot, with even how to use Microsoft. There's certain things like that I learned from. I remember in first year of uni, when they were teaching me Microsoft, I was like, what am I going to do with dealing with Microsoft? But like now it's so helpful, even creating PowerPoints, when we're having team meetings, I'll create PowerPoints, and I'm like, oh, I learned that in first of college, where I thought it wasn't, I remember like even LinkedIn, one of my lecturer made all of us like start on LinkedIn in first of college. And at the time I was like, what is this for? But now, if I have an interview with somebody for my business, I would go and check the LinkedIn out, and see, okay, are they active on LinkedIn? Like sometimes you can just see a CV, but if someone's on LinkedIn, you can see what they've done and, their past experiences and all that. So, yeah.
And how do you feel then what are the steps, I suppose, to start up a business? What are like the fundamental steps that someone has to take? Because you've done your research and you seem to have everything in order already, and someone else can come in and be discouraged by starting up a business and it's not taking off, and they're not really understanding why it's not taking off. But obviously it was just not planned out, or it was just kind of like, let's just see how it goes. Are you a firm believer of plan first, and then go with it, or you will just let it see how
I'm a firm believer of planning first, mainly because there's a saying that says, I think it's plan to fail or prepared to plan. Yeah. So like if you have a decent plan, right, at the end of the day, and especially since you have it written down, you will know that, okay, I have to go buy this. But sometimes if you do something spontaneously, I think that's why sometimes if you do a business spontaneously, most businesses don't work, because it's like, out of the bloom, some of them do work, but if you don't have a proper plan in place, that's where you're going to fail. For example, you said the steps of, starting a business or whatever. So I said the most important thing is have a business plan. There's actually like templates on the internet where you can download it for free, and then you can just write a business plan where it's a business description. It's how much you're putting into the business, how much you want to take out of the business, different ways you're going to go about, research and development, different ways, if it's finding your suppliers, whether it is also, like how much are you going to make from the business, especially profits. At the end of the day, you're doing the business to make a profit. So have a solid business plan. and stick by that business plan. Yes, sometimes, stuff might not go as planned, because I think it takes a business average of 2 years for it to kick off. There is resources out there that can actually help you, like being linked into your local enterprise office. They have so much courses that they can help you. They also have grants that they can help you, to start up a business. Because I think sometimes people say, oh, I don't have the funds, but you might have a great idea. Do you know what I mean? So definitely, if you're thinking of starting up a business, link in with your local enterprise office. I think you can find them online. Just tell them, I'm about to start a business. What they will do most of the time, which is free, they will link you in with a business advisor. And then you can set up like a face-to-face or an online meeting with a business advisor. So with there, it depends on what stage you're on to start your business. Is it like the pre-stage, or have you already started? And then they will go through different things, like even like I mentioned, like the VAT, the tax.
Yeah.
They would go through all of that with you. They also have courses that you can take. Sometimes they have events, like yesterday they had an event, like it was an online. They have events you can take, even face-to-face events you can take. So there's many ways to go about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's only here in CCI you're getting free information on how to do things. How can you not win? Subscribe. This is where you need to be.
Yeah.
I think you've said loads, like you've given us loads of gems, for free. And
I should be charging you guys for this.
But the thing is, the way you're talking, you're very passionate about it. You seem like your face is like, this is your baby. It's like you love doing what you're doing.
I do.
And someone listening to you can feel it, can see it. And so you've taken us through the process. You've taken us through how you found how you went about getting your suppliers and whatnot. Now the name. Tell us about the name. Like, how did you come about choosing?
You know what? Everyone always asks me about the name. And
yeah,
it's a funny story. I was actually I think 3 months ago, I was going to change it to Meka Cosmetics, right? Okay. Because I was like, Belle in Francais, it's, beautiful. So I was thinking like, something feminine, And for some reason, like, because I did say to my family, and everybody was like, Meka is so bold. It's so like out in your face, like it's there. My husband is called Emeka, right? So my son obviously is Emeka as well. So because he was named after his dad.
Yeah.
So I think if I was building a family business and something to leave for my kids, I wanted something, strong and bold. So I thought, why don't I shorten Emeka to Meka?
Okay.
So it's because I do see this as a business that I want to leave to my kids one day. I know that we're going to go global. Do you know what I mean? So I want, so I just didn't want like a name for the sake of having a name. I wanted a name with a meaning. So, one day when my son is old enough, when he asks me this, he can be like, oh, my mom really thought of me when she started her business. So that's really where cute. The name started.
Yeah. But that's what it like. It is good. Like when you hear stories about companies and businesses, and when they tell you how it started and the meaning behind the brand and the name, I find it interesting.
Yeah.
And like it makes it more special, that bit more special. Like it's named after a legacy that you want to leave. Like the whole theme of legacy is running throughout the business.
Yes.
Up to the name as well.
100%.
So, yeah.
And it makes it a little bit more passionate because, at the end of the day, I'm like, if I'm to name this, especially after, my son, it has to work. It makes it 100% more like passionate, like you said, like this has to work for, because of something that I plan on passing down. And one day, hopefully by God's grace, he'll take over the business, or, he can, see certain things in the business. So, yeah.
That's really bold and beautiful, like Meka. And I know we've just been sitting here talking about the rosy side of it. And no one always, no one really talk about behind the scene, the tears, the frustration, the almost about to give up moments. And take us through a bit of that. Like, how do you deal with that? Has that happened for you?
Yeah.
You know, what keeps you going? Tell us a bit.
With anything you do, especially starting a business, it's never easy. Like I'd say you go through more challenges than the good side sometimes, especially before you start a business. So I think yes, I have gone through the nights that I've cried 110%, but I think it's important to have a support system. It's important to have people that you can rely on. It's also important to take time off. If you think that this is getting too much, step back, take a break. If you have the means, go somewhere, just go through even a few days of not looking at anything to do with the business, refuel, recharge, and then come back and say, okay, how am I going to do? Because you can actually seriously fall into a deep depression if you don't look after yourself as a business owner. There is certain like webinars, to look after your mental health, research on different stuff that you can do just for yourself. I know for myself, it's just sometimes when I look at my kids and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to take it. Like I said to you, once 3 o'clock hits, 4 o'clock, my phone is off, my laptop, and nobody can reach me because it's the time that I have with my family. It's the time that I have with my kids. About a month ago, we kind of had a setback and I was very low. But I said to myself, I'm going to take a week off. I won't even look at anything. But even though I took a week off, I knew I had a team that would, be posting online, be doing that, unless you're doing all of that yourself. But I'm lucky enough that I have people that do that for me. So I just took a week off, didn't even think of the business, because at the end of the day, I have to be well, not just physically, also mentally. I have to be in the right space of mind in my head for me to look after a business, and it is very hard. So definitely take time off, speak to your support system. You need to build a support system. And like I mentioned about webinars with other businesses, you will find businesses in your area. Sometimes even like the struggles that you're going to, someone might have the answer. Like it's also good to speak to people, speak to like business, like join forums for different businesses in your local area. You can say, I'm having an issue with that. Someone will say, oh, I had it last year and this is how I went about it. I think the one thing that we like to do as humans, we like to keep stuff in. It's good to speak out because your solution might be, out there.
Yeah. And that is important to surround yourself with like-minded people, other entrepreneurs who are going through the same thing, who have gone through it, and maybe they're somewhere else and they can help you
100%.
kind of see on the other, like what's on the other side. Like, hey, don't worry, this happens. But this it encourages you and it keeps you grounded and keeps you motivated. And I think it's something that we lack in our Congolese community. I think sometimes, like you said, we like to bottle up things and feelings, and in doing so, we find ourselves feeling a bit inadequate. And maybe a business could have worked if only you spoke out about the challenges you were facing. But sometimes we don't, and things just trickle down, close, end of story. And then we don't see a lot of like that positive representation of our culture out there. And it is a very important conversation. And the side that you mentioned, mental health, which is another side of where we don't really talk about that. It's like we don't know how to deal with it, in the diaspora or like just in our community in general. It's like when this happened, however it comes across, people don't see it like, oh, there could be something else behind it. They just see how you react and make their I guess their opinion on what they see, rather than think, oh, perhaps there's something deeper going on. And you mentioned your local enterprise. Where do you have a place where that supports entrepreneurs with their mental health? Is that something you've come across?
Actually, no, it's not. I think there is this stigma around, like if you're struggling, or is a sign of weakness, So, and I think that's definitely something that needs to be done more. I know there's a lot of webinars. I've been to many different webinars, but off the top of my head, I've never seen a webinar where it says, "Oh, support businesses with, mental health," or, I definitely have not seen it, but I know they're out there, but they're not as, like, as they're not as advertised as they should be. 100%.
Yeah, and I think that's something, a little pet project to start, especially here in Dublin, to just kind of keep all of us grounded, and kind of get the newbies know what they're getting into.
Because there is a lot of young people, especially there's a lot of young people going into like starting their own businesses, and a lot of us might not have the support system at home. It's nice for them to know, because sometimes if you go to, let's say, a home and you say, "Oh, I'm struggling with this," sometimes it might be looked down on, this thing. They, like, your family can say, "But we didn't ask you to start a business." Do you know, that kind of way?
Yeah.
But it's nice that knowing that you can go somewhere and, speak to somebody, or like you can attend a webinar, even if it's once every 3 months, or, speak to other people. Yesterday, actually, I was speaking to another business owner, and she was telling me about the struggles that she was going through as a business owner, And then it was like speaking to people that you might say, "Oh, I'm not the only one going through this," because sometimes we think that, "Oh, it's just me going through this." Speaking to other people, you might say, "Oh, I'm not the one going through this," or how did they find the solution to go through that? So it's definitely something that's needed.
Absolutely. And I suppose cutting away from that, then now it's more about the tools for your business. How do you feel about? Do you still feel like Instagram and Facebook is still a great way to promote your business?
100%.
Do you see that it's doing its work for you?
Yeah, 100%. I think because we started brand new, right? Just from Instagram alone, the way it spread. Now we're well known, and we've not launched yet. We're just about to launch, and we're already well known just by the power of Instagram. That's why I always say to businesses, make sure you have a strong online presence. Make sure, you're consistent with your posting. You're consistent with your content, basically, because your content is who you are. Yes, you're selling or you're offering services, but everybody, if let's say you're looking, for example, a hairdresser, the first thing you go is their social media.
Yes.
You want to see testimonies, you want to see, reviews, you want to see what they've done in the past before you say, "Okay, I'm going to give this person my money." So an advice I would give to businesses, especially if you're thinking of starting, make sure you have a big online presence. Do your research on, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, because I think the ads as well helps you kind of be seen to other people. Imagine somebody might just be thinking about, cosmetics, and then an Instagram post comes up, cosmetics, So definitely, yes, it is like, it does cost money to, promote like a post on Instagram or on Facebook. But that's where, once again, like I said, on your business plan, or like I said earlier, have a business plan and know that, okay, I'm going to put X amount of money toward promotion. Also, you have to put X amount of money towards like content creator, because right now, content creators and influencers, they're the people they can actually take your businesses very far. Because if, let's say, for Meka, if I gift my stuff to someone, and they use it, their followers are going to want to say, "Oh, what is she using?" Their followers are going to follow me. So definitely have a big online presence, and have a big marketing strategy as well. Do your research. There's a lot you can do as well.
And for that research, is it free? Do you need to spend money for the research? Because a lot of people sometimes are discouraged, like, "Oh, I have to pay this money." What do you think?
The research is free, but the only thing that I'd say you would have to spend your money on, like I mentioned, is the ads to promote the business. But like, even if you go on Google these days, Google will have the answer for everything. Even YouTube, there is free videos on how to promote your business. On YouTube, you will find the videos. You just need to put in the time. I know even with the hashtags, there's
Yes.
certain hashtags that reach a broader audience. Once again, you have to do the research.
Yeah. And so the importance of search engine optimization
Yeah.
skills is very very hot
Yes.
skills to have in these days. Would you recommend one platform over another?
Do you know what's getting very big these days? Is TikTok. TikTok is the next. To be honest, I love Instagram because I feel everybody has a presence on Instagram, right? But nowadays, everybody's on TikTok, especially the young generation. They actually prefer, like my young siblings, they prefer TikTok over Instagram any day.
Yeah.
You know, but if, like, to answer your question, I would prefer Instagram because I think with Instagram you can post your pictures, you can have your captions, you know, people can see different things, you can post videos, you can post reels, you know, you can promote it, you know, unless, let's say, if you offer like a service, like hair, like you're doing hair, you're doing your MUA, definitely go on TikTok because TikTok is there for you. And I know with TikTok, the more views you get, they actually can start paying you from it as well. So, but definitely, you know, do like videos behind the scenes, you know, a day in the life of, because a lot of people now are, and I've realized, not even noticed, I've realized something with business is people want to see what you're doing. You know, people are very interested in the face of the business, you know, like let's say you're doing a day in the life of, or come with me to, you know, that is the big thing now. As a business, you always have to keep trendy. You have to keep on different trends. You know, you can't just say, oh, like I know there's some business on Facebook now, but Facebook isn't, nobody goes, I don't even have a Facebook anymore. You know? So like I said, there's some people that have Instagram, but have a platform on every single thing that you can to make yourself seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Alida who gave us all these great gems. Like, this is for free, okay? Just subscribe to the app, it's free. Thank you so much. I think we can be here all day.
Yeah.
Talking, like, and you generally have just great gems to give, like, for everyone who wants to start a business. And these information for anyone who's out there, who's watching, you are not alone. If you have something that you're passionate about and you want to start something, like Alida said, you can go to your local enterprise office and ask them for information, and any resources that you may need to start a business is there. Alternatively, you can also contact us, CCI. We can help you through that, and also we can get you in contact with Alida if she wants to throw on some business skills to you or information. I'm sure she's happy to do so.
Yes.
Yes. And so don't be shy. Just give us a call if you want to get on our Instagram or TikTok. We're pretty much everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and whatnot. So, Alida, any last words that you want to give to our viewers? You know, we want to know all the information on your brand, when it's launching, where to find you for any future purchases, and all of that good stuff. So, tell us.
First and foremost, I just say thank you so much for having me. It's been an amazing day we've had here, and I really hope that what I've said, you know, whoever is thinking of starting this journey, the only thing I want to say is, it's not going to be easy, but take it from me, it's going to be worth it. You know, put in the time. If you have a passion for your business, it is going to be worth it. Just having something you can call your own. Where you can find us, we are on all the platforms out there, like I mentioned. You can find us on Instagram, Meka Cosmetics. We have our website, Meka Cosmetics, TikTok, Meka Cosmetics, and our email, which is mekacosmetics@outlook.com. The very exciting part here, we are launching very soon. So our launch date at the moment stands as the 3rd of December. So our website goes live on that day, where you can go on and purchase all our beautiful products. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to to try. By the way, viewers, this is my present. Okay, I've been kind of gifted by the CEO, some Meka Cosmetics, and I'm looking forward to testing them. And I'll give you. I know already it's going to be amazing, and I'll give you all a review soon. But stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for the gift. I am so happy, and I've been waiting for this to end so I can go home and try and and try all the great stuff that is in there. I just want to rip it off. But thank you so much, Alida, and thank you to you all who have tuned in today to watch this episode. Until next time, it was Meka for CCI. Bye bye.
Okay.